All right.
Did you get my text?
Started from the beginning. Yes, I got your text.
With Lord Foog the Toost?
Lord Foog the Toost.
Yeah. He's it looks like something I think one of Rachel's friends said it looked like something from iFunny from 2012.
It has the meme format for that.
Yeah, it's got that meme format, a little like black box with the little white line.
Yep, with the black, yeah. Lord Foog's the Toost?
Lord Foog the Toost, thank you. He's elite.
All hail.
All hail.
Lord Foog the Toost.
He's on social media. He's getting big. I think it's going to be a thing.
Did she show you that, or did you find it?
I found it on the TikTok.
Oh, you found it on the TikTok.
It was things that don't exist but should, and it was like a guy saying like it was like a phone holder next to the toilet, and then this other guy like chimes in. He's like, Lord Foog the Toost.
Lord Foog the Toost. Elite.
Yeah, so I fell in love from there.
Oh, okay. So that's your new thing. You should get a shirt with Lord Foog the Toost.
Yeah, maybe I could look on Redbubble or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how to use Redbubble. You can work your way around it.
I've never bought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there you go. You can customize on there too, I think.
It's a lot of chuggy stickers on there. Yeah.
Chuggy.
Yeah, you know what a chug is? You don't know what a chug is? It's like an out of touch millennial.
What?
Yeah, it's a word. It's
you know what's funny? Me and Jordan were just talking about like there's this new Burger King meal for this Hudson guy that we have never fucking heard of in our life. Do you know what I'm talking about? All these Burger King meals they're making for celebrities.
No, I know about McDonald's, like when they had the Travis Scott.
Yeah,
meal.
but there's like I think it's Burger King. They have like a Chase Hudson.
That BTS K-pop group has the McDonald's now, but I never heard it. I didn't think Burger King had money to do that.
I guess they do. But
Okay.
like we were just sitting there, like I think we're just old and don't know what these youths are like, who their heroes are, and we're like, man, like
I don't feel that out of touch, but the chug
I
term
do.
I just learned about. Because it's more of a fashion thing. I think it's mostly geared towards women though, because everyone likes to hate women apparently. I don't think that anyone trashes like men's fashion, but like this, like you can't wear skinny jeans as a woman anymore.
Why? That's weird.
I don't know. Like, well, if you look how the Gen Z's dress, it's because they everyone likes to be 30 years before. Like they're fascinated by the culture. So it's like now it's the 90s where it was the 80s.
We just had an 80s. That's right. And because like Africa was all over the radio waves again, like out of nowhere, and then all these bands covered 80s songs, and then I think
The Weeknd
and John Mayer just released a whole album. It was like really 80s inspired. It's been and the 90s is gonna come back. So
it's back in
the grunge.
Well, I think the 90s sucked. I do think the 80s were worse, so I never really liked the 80s that much. Even like,
I used to say I didn't like the 80s, and then
you heard Swans.
You know, I don't know if it was that. I think it was just watching old cheesy 80s movies got me back to love the 80s. I used to shit on the 80s all the time.
Yeah, well, it's like the Ronald Reagan era.
And you look at the 90s, and they're not much better. I guess.
Right, but yeah, we had grunge and then we had black metal.
So this is a music commentary.
What an intro.
Yeah. This is a music commentary podcast where me and Brock, we listen to an album every week, and then we get back to each other after that week and discuss our findings, our listenings, and all that. And Louise, my dog, is being very needy right now. Louise, what do you need? I think you need to lay down. Louise, go lay down.
There's like a bunch of noises of me struggling right now.
Louise, I think you need to lay down.
I think you should leave now.
I think you should leave. She needs to go outside is what she's trying to tell me. But I can't right now because I'm busy. Louise, go lay down.
Isn't there like a corner in this room she could, you know?
I'm going to go let her out real quick and then we can start over if that's fine.
Okay. Well, we just pause it.
Okay. All right, and we're back.
Hey.
So
you were saying about our podcast.
Oh, yeah. So we are the Earburners podcast. And this week we listened to Queen Moo's self-titled album, Queen Moo. How exciting is that?
I like that intro. That was good.
It was a good intro. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I think our talk about 90s and culture fits in perfectly, though.
Time for intro.
Oh, okay. It's not working.
Fuck. Time for intro. There we go. Now it's working. That's better.
Oh, my headphones are muted. So
Yeah,
so
yeah, so you couldn't even
I
hear
was
it.
like, it's not working.
Yeah, I like that intro too. It was good.
Yeah.
Fuck just fell out of the window.
What was that?
That was a cricket.
It was spooky.
Yeah, that's like out of a horror movie. Oh, it's moving. Anyways.
What the fuck is that?
It's a cricket.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like that it's alive.
All right. So
What a scene.
anyways, we listened to Queen Moo's, I believe 2014, 2015
I
album.
think. I don't know. That's what Spotify
Did you
says.
make notes for this?
Yeah.
You didn't? I didn't make notes for this.
I didn't like write anything that's like readable.
Oh.
A lot of like dun 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 like
Oh, yeah, like the dun duns
like,
and all
as if
that.
I'd remember what that riff meant, but
Yeah.
hopefully I will.
Yeah, this is probably the most I've come to one of these episodes. I should say the least prepared, I guess I should say.
But the most prepared, right?
But the kind of also the most prepared, since this is an album that I've really loved for quite some time now. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, the cats are being crazy. I think I listened to this album, I think probably like 2016, 2017. So maybe a couple or a year or two after it
Yeah.
was released.
that fits in with your timeline.
Yeah. So I picked this album just because it's a nice nostalgia piece for me back to a time when I was working at a job I really didn't like. Probably hanging out most nights, probably having a few drinks with friends and driving home. Like, this is the time of year I like to listen to this album as well, kind of when it gets a little bit cooler as well as the season changes. But yeah, it's a nice, soothing album for me for this time of year.
Nice.
Yeah. I saw these guys in I think I told you last episode, I saw these guys like in the middle of a cornfield in like north of Indy.
Oh, I thought it was in a garage.
It was in a garage.
Okay.
It was a garage in the middle of a
In the
cornfield.
middle of- okay.
Yeah.
It's very Indiana.
It was very Indiana. There was a couple
where are
other
they
bands
from?
there. They're from like Massachusetts, I believe, in the East Coast.
So they drove all the way out for
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
It was awesome.
Sad, but-
I have a video of it. I think I Snapchatted it when I went.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love when bands like come out really far to play at a venue, like a little venue.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's funny. I was getting like summer vibes, but I don't have any real connections to this album besides like what I've done this week. And maybe you have shown me at least one track off this album, probably the first one.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know. What I was trying to do was like it reminds me of something. I'm just not sure what, and I don't know if it like maybe it ties into the '90s nostalgia, even though it's like a couple of years old. But like,
Yeah.
it felt like there was a couple moments where like, did you ever see Ned's Declassified Schools?
Yeah,
Together?
I watched Ned's
I feel like
Classified.
they could put this song in that show somewhere, or like these songs in that show somewhere.
I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's got like this
It kind of has kind of like a cartoony kind of thing to it, maybe.
little bit, and like some of the melodies, like especially the first track, I felt like it was the opening to like a musical. Like, we
Yeah.
were getting this like drunken, aging millennial musical
Oh, that's what this
of
is.
self-deprecation,
Yeah, that's what this album is.
self-sabotage, and
So that's the episode. That's the album.
yeah, if they ever do a reunion for that show, maybe this would be it.
That you know what? That's actually a good pitch.
Yeah.
You should pitch that.
That's yeah.
Ned's Declassified. They all graduated. They're self-loathing, like college students, maybe even just out of college.
And it starts off with them like,
Survival Guide for Adulthood or something,
Right.
and they're like just like.
but they fail, and it starts off with them watching Steve from Blue's Clues give like the "you look good."
That's a great
and they're
idea.
Like, I'm a piece of shit. What do you mean?
Dude,
And then they play the Queen Moo album over that.
that's start with Captain Glee. off the album. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is that
Captain fucking Glee. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the one where I wrote they do like the melody from was it wasn't Leech, was it?
Yeah.
They like do the same melody.
That's a motif that's throughout the album.
Yeah. I like that little jingle.
It's a nice jingle. It's really cool, and they bring it back in interesting ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, you pretty much already know how I feel about this album. You know, I really like it. Some of the hooks and choruses. And that's one thing about this album is that, you know, they don't linger too long on one particular part of the song. You know, there's movements going through it, right?
Yeah.
So like the thing I love about this album is that there's always a hook somewhere. Like it's kind of out of left field. I really enjoy kind of the instrumentation and like the chords and guitar in this album. It's not your typical thing that you would hear. I think it has kind of like jazz influences, I would say.
Yeah, and
it kind of has a little bit of that mathcore in it too that you hear sometimes.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because like I know Leroy introduced you to them, and he's a big like Every Time I Die fan.
Yeah,
and it feels like it makes sense like that he would like this band too because of that, like the weird timing, the change ups.
Yeah,
because that's like so prevalent, like that mathcore converged type sound, but it's also like.
I think Tesseract is one of his favorite too, I think.
Oh yeah, he does like Tesseract, doesn't he?
I think so.
I like Tesseract. That's yeah. But yeah, they give me like they do give me like Warped Tour, like
Periphery too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
maybe
like
in that.
It's like American American Tesseract.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say like Every Time I Die, Norma Jean Converge. Like if they were like, let's make an indie rock album, this is like the type of songs it would be. But yeah, I did not like it the first listen.
Yeah, me either. But it takes a little bit.
And I don't particularly like the more aggressive vocalist.
Okay.
I like the other guy.
The more mellow sounding guy.
Yeah, but I also appreciate that they know when to change off where the other guy is kind of
exactly. So it's not always entirely the
gruffy guy. Yeah. If it was all him.
The more I listened to it, the more I listened to it, the more I actually did really like his voice, because it's not your conventional singing voice. It like I said, it has kind of this interesting, like he goes a weird way with it. I can't really explain it.
Yeah, I'll say for any type of criticism I can give it, I can always say I can't place it like any of it. Mm-hmm. It's unique, so none of it's borrowing too heavily from anything I know. At least I don't know. I'm not like the biggest expert on every little corner of the indie music, so maybe they're honing in some other influence that I'm not aware of, but from what I've listened to, I can't really say, hey, this is like influenced by this or that particularly. I mean, you can list off maybe something that one piece of it reminds you of, like the song was it oh yeah, Don't Think I Do.
Don't think I do.
You know, I kept thinking it was like, it sounds like Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Where in that does it?
Kind of at the beginning, music, rain to get drunk.
Yeah,
it's got that Wish You Were
know, I
Here.
never pulled that from that. No.
Yeah, and that's interesting.
That is interesting, yeah.
There was this other moment.
Fight to seem sober. Yeah.
It's not quite, and that is an interesting song with how much like time changes.
It does like a polka kind of sound to it, like ba, 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 and then
at first I didn't like the polka, but then when they like switched it,
I was like, wow, don't feel used.
Like you said, they don't linger too long.
Yeah.
And then on the song Amends, the closer.
Oh, that's probably one of my favorite on the album.
But you know what? It was weird. I had this moment where, you wouldn't think it would be similar, but. You know The Killers, When We Were Young?
When you were young. Yeah, I know that song.
Like the way he sings, and he even says something similar to like, I know in the Killer song he says he doesn't look a thing like Jesus.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he
yeah.
talks like it. And then this one he said something like he's got the face of God or something. And then
Why, he's wonderful.
somehow
Yep.
that made me get the Killer stuck in my head, even though there's
Oh, really?
totally different songs.
Yeah,
and
you're
then I
putting
looked it
some
up.
connections to this. I never. Yeah,
It's not a very linear connection, but
I can see it though.
like the way
Yeah.
he delivered the vocals, like I was like,
Mm-hmm.
is this the Killers?
Yeah,
But that's like a shitty like synth rock song. It's not that shitty, but like
I think Amends is it has one of the best hooks because again it goes back to the hook in Leech, but it adds more to it.
I didn't catch the hook and leech or
I
the
said
hook.
da, da, ba, da, 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 da. You say it's nothing personal.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, and then it does that again in Amends.
Oh, I didn't even
It
notice
brings
that.
it back and it ends on it. And the last phrase in the album is "I said what I meant." So yeah,
I never looked at the lyrics.
I didn't look thoroughly through them. You know, I've listened to the album a lot, and to me, it's just again kind of like harking back to, being at that age where you're kind of self-loathing, kind of like I'm single, but I'm getting drunk with my buddies. I think we're spending a little too much time getting faced in basements, things like that. And then there's times where he's singing about being married and like being a newlywed and all that. So there might be some things in this that go over my head a little bit. And then there's tracks where
Where he's reflecting.
I think the other singer, I think it's the bassist is the other singer who sings like in Cactus Romantic. I don't want to ever get married, baby. Touch my spine, I think is what it is.
That's probably my favorite song.
Yeah, that one's a good track. I like the way it starts, kind of like wonky, and then dun
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like when they do the it's big and then they go into the palm view.
Yeah.
And little dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then like I love how they like leave in like when he's like going when he
Yeah.
like, clears his throat in it.
Yep.
Yeah, I like when they leave shit. Like there's a couple. One of the tracks like they're literally like talking in the background.
I think that was Captain Glee, and it's just
Yeah,
his vocals, and that's why I think the more I listen to that singer's vocals, the more I enjoyed him because he does get a lot of good emotion out of it. Like you can't say that this it's very emotional the way he sings. Yeah.
It's interesting because there's some times where it's like varied because like sometimes I'm like he's almost robotic but then he's not like I'm like he's monotone but he's also doing a melody.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't place it, which
Yeah.
I think must mean something.
Yeah. Now this and looking back at the time I was listening to this album, I think it really spoke to me at the time, just being in that place of like, I'm staying up, because we were working at a restaurant at the time. I think you had moved on maybe to American Eagle, but
Or I'm trying to remember.
I guess I shouldn't just name drop these places.
Oh well, yeah, it's a little mom and pop shop, so you'll definitely find me. No, I think if you name the restaurant, it might be more.
Yeah, it might be a little bit, yeah, but-
no, that's a chain. So
Yeah, that's true.
There. Yeah,
But sorry, you were saying.
I don't know if I worked there when you went and saw them. I'm trying to remember.
So no, it was kind of in a weird period of my life. I had that loss that was pretty significant, and then Leroy, our mutual friend, had just said, "Hey, this is a band I'm listening to. You should check it out." And he brought it into work one day, and he said, "Here's the name of this band." He wrote it like on a napkin or something, and said, "Listen to this," and I did. And we really bonded a lot over it because we both really liked it. And he was like, dude, they're playing in like literally indie. I'm like, I imagined in my head like they were going to be like, kind of like at Swans where they had an actual like stage and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it was just in some guy's garage north of Indy. And it was really cool. It was a really intimate show. We got to meet the band members. I got a piece of merch. I was going to wear the shirt down here today, but I forgot to put it on.
Can't wear this shirt to the podcast about the band.
No, you can't.
No, that's a rule, right?
I guess.
Do you wear the jersey of the team you want to win?
You're
To
wearing
the
a
baseball
Amy
game?
Winehouse shirt right now. That's really
Well,
trippy,
I can't
groovy.
spoil next week's album.
Oh.
Well, yeah, no, I think I must have moved on by that point because I don't think I was there.
Yeah.
Because you said 2016.
Like 2017, kind of in that.
Oh, I was definitely gone.
Yeah, you were
then.
gone.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I ditched you.
You ditched me.
Sad place.
I was in a sad place.
Queen Moo came along, replaced me. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But no, that's good shit. That's a good story.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun trip. We hit up a few like hipster kind of like beer gardens and things like that, and had a good time. And yeah, it was a good memory. I chalk it out. I have a few recordings of being there at that show, and I could show it to you, and show you just how small and intimate it was. But
Yeah.
at that time, they were playing. They had another album that they had come out with, which I think is called Mean Well, and they were playing that. A lot of tracks from that. I think they played probably something. I think they may have played Three Humans from their self-titled, and they just came out with a new album. I think here recently. I think 2020 or 2019 they came out with another one, but
Has their songwriting changed?
a little bit, I'd say.
I was gonna say because this feels like, it feels like a first album in a way. Because I liken it to the first Devil Wears Prada album, where you can tell like they really made it for small shows, small venues, and it just feels like something that like they translated from a live setting or like jam sessions to a studio. And I don't know, I kind of got that vibe with this, that I'm like they're probably gonna make longer songs eventually, or maybe flesh out parts longer.
Yeah.
I think this album is really good, even though it's like super short.
So that's the thing about this album, is that each song in this album stands out. Like it doesn't weigh too heavily on one particular track. It's a good album all the way through, which is one thing I really give. There might be tracks that I like better than others, but all the way through this album has good, like I don't skip in this album when I'm listening to it. I'll listen to it.
I would
Okay,
skip,
where would you skip?
I would skip Never If I Ever.
That's probably one of my least favorite. I would agree.
It's
but
like that.
But once you get past,
better. Yeah,
it gets really good after that.
So yeah, I give it that. So I can't even hate it that much. I didn't even put in my notes. It gets better, like the build up, and then it goes back into like that main motif. So like, but like when it first starts, I'm like, ugh, I want to skip this shit. And then I'd say Ice House. It's poppy, but it's kind of forgettable to me.
That's interesting because that's probably one. Yeah. So Never If I Ever and Ice House are probably my two. I would probably say as well on the bottom of that list.
Yeah. It
is forgettable. There's not a whole lot on it. It has the running on this roller coaster, and it has like a cool kind of like build up to it. And it's not a bad song. It's just not one in the album that really does stick out to me.
And every time I try to think of it, I end up getting Upper Butcher stuck in my head, which I think is like a better, like it's not totally the same, but like it's kind of close.
Yeah.
As far as
like
comparing the two.
Upper Butcher just does it better.
Yeah, I think Upper Butcher does it better. It's a good placement on the track list.
Upper Butcher's a good track. Yeah. These cheeks are chewed up.
But yeah, he's like, I pray to Elvis. I always remember that part.
What?
I don't know. There's like lyrics that like just catch my ear.
Oh yeah, they just kind of jump out at you
without looking at them. That's how I just kind of figured out what they were talking about without like really looking at the lyrics. But there's sometimes where I'm just really focusing on the guitar and but like on Don't Think I Do. I think I love that riff on there when they like change it later on, like it's like dun 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 dun
yeah. It kind of switches it up. Don't Think I Do probably has the best end last hook in the album, probably, where it just goes dun dun. Don't think I do. Yeah.
It's got that little swing.
I don't wanna go down that road. That part of it.
Yeah.
It's so good. The first time I listened to that, I think it just it hooked me. It was really good. And then the other songs on this album have that same kind of effect to it. Like Have It has kind of that same kind of approach to it.
Yeah.
Have It's good. But when I was listening to one of the tracks, I think it's Don't Think I Do, like I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, I know Brock's going to get hooked on one of these lines and we're going to have to talk about it. Why'd you spill the beans?
Oh my God, yeah. Fucking the lighthouse.
Why'd you spill the beans?
Dun, dun. Someone should mash that up and just put
Yeah.
over that part of the song.
Why'd you spill the beans?
Any TikTokers out there could do that.
You done spilled the beans.
Another riff I liked was in Three Humans.
That's a good one. That's another one with the intro. You know, it's a little dissonant because the voices aren't exactly in tune, but I kind of like that. It's kind of edgy like that. But that's one that kind of was easy for me to skip through. I didn't listen to that track for a little while, but once I got past that, and I actually did enjoy it.
I didn't notice, but that shows how much I listen to vocalists. But I mean, those guys never. For me, I think like it doesn't. Like, because of the vibe of this album,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to put much stock into, like, their vocal performance.
Yeah.
Because it's not what it's like it's a garage album.
Right.
Kind of. I mean, it's not as messy.
It's
more
refined
polished,
than that.
But I'm, like, not going to go in here expecting to be blown away by someone's singing abilities.
Right.
Because it's not for that. I mean, I looked at the album cover and I was like, yeah, okay. Not gonna be Broadway performers on this one.
the riff that I liked in Three Humans is when it's just quiet and you're listening to that dum bum bam bum 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 bum.
I love that. It's very mathcore riff.
Yep, and then it is very mathcore, and then it brings it back, and it's and then it goes right back into the ba da 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 da, and it goes back into that, and then that is a good song.
Oh yeah, it's like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's got that little nice roll thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, someone knows what they're doing in his writing, and they make it seem like it's an accident.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's like messy, but artistically messy is the best way I can kind of think of this album.
Which is the most mathcore thing you can do.
This is kind of like, you know, and even in their like album art and their you know, art that they advertise themselves with is like, you know, you take paint and you splatter it on a wall, and that's very much what I get out of like an album like this.
Right, but it's like a controlled chaos.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put this.
So I think like it was either Norma Jean or the Chariot, both kind of similar mathcore bands.
Yeah,
one of them said they were trying to explain like why they're not progressive, because you have that whole progressive metal or progressive rock world that utilizes like odd time signatures and similar things, but then you have all these other bands who you're like, no, Norma Jean is not Between the Buried and Me.
No,
but I think he said it's because it just kind of comes out like as an accident.
Yeah.
It's not, they're just jamming, and it kind of turns into that, where I think maybe Between the Buried and Me is a little more meticulous.
Yeah.
Except in the beginning, they kind of had more of that Dillinger Escape Plan, Converge type sounds.
Right.
But I get that from this group, where it seems like they're doing some kind of technical stuff, but I feel like they're just kind of
having fun, really.
I think they're having fun, but like on a Don't Think I Do, I mean, they switch up the time signature like 3 times within the first minute of the song.
Yeah.
And I didn't really feel like it was for the sake of doing it. I mean, the pop, like I was like, really? You're going to do that?
Yeah.
After that riff? But I don't know, I got over it.
But then it slows it down again, and then it's different. And then, and then there's a saxophone solo on the end of that too, which is interesting.
Can we talk about the the rock and roll keyboard like solo on Never If I Ever?
The rock. Yeah.
I laughed at that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was actually I hated it, but then I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some cheesy moments in this, but you know,
like it's so tongue in cheek, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so like a lot of the cheesy stuff, I was like, like same with that boom bop.
Yeah,
like, I think you're just fucking with me at this point. I don't think you're trying to, like, you think that this is some crazy thing. I think you're like, let's throw that in there because like fuck that, you know.
I think a lot of it is that, you know, and I think you know the feel of the album you know, even the lyrics and just the way that everything is written and performed, I definitely get that feeling of some of it being, you know, kind of that tongue in cheek. You know, look at the album cover again,
Yeah.
right? Look at the album cover. It's
You say I'm wasted, and I say hello.
you say I'm wasted,
That's such a dad
and I
joke.
say hello. Yeah, yeah, I love that album. That's a introduction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They
And
put
then,
introduction as the third track. Love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
that
have like
is true.
outro is track 4, and then
Yeah.
there's like 10 other tracks after. So. Outro 2.
Yeah. It has just these quirky lyrics throughout the album that I just love,
Yeah.
and they just stick with you. Like in Cactus Romantic, like
Like the
I'm
fucking
gonna
name.
sharpen all my teeth. I'm gonna be the boy you wanna meet. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna call me boy with fangs. It's just got these awesome kind of quirky, off the wall lyrics in it that makes it so fun and enjoyable to listen to. You know, you do pull out new things when you listen to it, but and then it has these tracks that was just like, yeah, I know what it's like to be, you know, in that place where, like in Captain Glee, like you've been at a party and, you know, you're just kind of maybe feeling sad because maybe you're alone and you're maybe drank too much and you go to the bathroom at the party and you look in the mirror. Have you ever done that?
I've done the mirror part, but it's normally like, oh man, you're fucked, dude.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, shit.
I think we've probably all been there at one point in our life, right?
I don't know if it like. I don't know if that's what I'm usually not sad at parties. It's usually like
Man,
if
you're
I don't
not
get
living.
invited to a party or something. But
Yeah. But I
Where-
think we've all been there in Captain Glee where we're just like, fine, I'll take a look into the mirror. And you're just like, done.
don't look in the mirror, man.
Yeah.
Never look at yourself in the eye.
Don't look yourself in the eye.
Or the blinds. Yeah, no.
Oh, the blinds.
Yeah.
That's a story for a different time.
Oh yeah, man. Fuck. I like the one that's like the other line: drink two, get drunk, fight
Yeah.
two, seem sober.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty me line too.
Yeah. Some of
Yeah.
these lines are kind of
I want to let
Brockian.
you know how little it took for me to get this fucked up. Maybe that's more of an older thing because I feel like
Right.
it took me longer to get drunk back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
It's of that time.
Yeah.
For sure.
It makes me feel nostalgia for that time in my life where, you know, single and, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing with my life at the time. I was going to college and I was like working that part-time job I hated. I liked the people there, but it was just, yeah,
Yeah.
probably spending a little bit too much time in the bar after doing things like that, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how when you kind of do what your job is.
Mm-hmm.
You work at a restaurant, a bar, you eat and get drunk.
Yeah.
When I went to that store at the mall, I bought clothes. This is what, that's what you do.
That's what you do. Yeah.
Yep. And
Yep.
now I don't know. I work in healthcare, so I'm healthy. Yeah.
But Introduction was one that I initially didn't really like because it took me a second to get into it. And then after I listened to it a few times, I was like, yeah, this is a really good song off the album.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's perfectly titled. It like sums up what this album is, who it's by, and who it's for. And
yeah.
and the gap between your thighs.
I was just thinking that line.
Is that a bad thing?
I am the gap between. I am the
mean-
unprotected sex.
I mean, in like 2015, thigh gaps were in, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not anymore. We want them. We want them thick.
We want thick.
Thick and
Thick. So thick you can't even say it.
Yeah, and the thigh gaps. But then someone
Two K's on that thick.
someone's like, "That's not healthy. We don't need that." I don't even know if that's Photoshop or not. But like, that shouldn't exist. So, yeah, but maybe that's why. Maybe it's like that's why he said it.
Maybe.
Like-
Maybe.
But I don't know if I.
I am.
That's
the
not a
gap.
bad place to be either. So
No.
no. The unprotected sex.
The dotting of your T's and the crossing of your I's.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say I'm wasted? I say hello.
Jesus, man.
It's so funny. It's just, yeah. It's
Part
just,
of me initially didn't like the album because I was like, oh man, they're fucking channeling this type of energy.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this drunken.
I
Like,
was really worried
yeah.
to see what you thought of this coming back because I was really expecting you to be like, really, Trevor? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I initially there was a little part I was like, ah, fuck me, but God, thank God it's short. And then I listened to it like back to back for like 2 hours,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay,
It's got some good grooves in it. It's
and
got
then
some
as the
good
day
moments
goes
in it.
on, I'm like, okay, that song's in my head. Okay, that's okay. And then I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh, they actually did some very interesting transitions.
I like the
and-
guitar
and-
solos in this
yeah,
album,
I'm like
too.
and then I was thinking, you know, I'm like, compare this to another band who, you know, would probably be categorized, you know, or maybe just sounds kind of similar if you can do it. Their songs would be so much more boring, you know, and
Yeah.
so I guess I might check out their later stuff because I'm interested to see how they, maybe if they do a more verse chorus type, you know, structure, will they still do some of the similar motifs
Right.
from, you know, verse one to verse? Because like my biggest complaint, a lot of like modern or, you know, normally composed music is that I feel like the choruses are the same from 1 to 2 to that, you know, the outro, verse 1 to verse 2. I feel like there's not enough like difference, you know, even like little things like bands could do, like add, you know, change the drum beat, like,
Yeah.
you know, palm mute the guitar in this verse instead of when you
Right.
strummed it in the previous one. Like, it's just little tricks that could keep me more entertained and not just think of it as a passable throwaway song. And I mean, I feel like these guys do it pretty well. And they, you know, if they wanted to be in a more, you know, radio friendly format, I think they could pull it off really well and like maintain that kind of quirky characteristics that they have in these songs. So I mean, I love like that they are able to play on their, you know, melodies and motifs, you know, within songs and then even across
Right.
the album. Super cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate this album.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I really appreciate it too. And I'd be lying if I said the first time I listened to it, I was like really sold into it. It took me a few listens and then I fell in love with it, I think. It just kind of always kind of pops up here and there on my listening. There'll be probably like a good few months, sometimes even more than half a year, where I go without listening to it. You know, like we were
Yeah.
talking about a little bit as far as the Glow. I think we were saying it's like, you know, it might be somebody's favorite album, but it's not something they'll put on all the time, right?
But I think this one's so much more accessible though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the
you
Glow-
could put a track on this on a
Yeah,
playlist.
Like the Glow,
and-
you can't.
no,
You got to commit to that. This can
Right.
be on and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I put a couple of these tracks on. So when me and Jordan started dating, we actually put a couple. I put a couple tracks on a playlist from this album.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think Have It and probably Leech. I think I put on a playlist.
Okay.
The one thing that I am just always forever confused about, I was tempted to actually message these guys because I have no idea what the hell a hook sock is. Hook socks.
I always thought it was Hook Sex, and then I actually read it. I'm like, because I even wrote that on my notes. I'm like, that's not even the title.
Hook socks.
What are,
What are hook socks? Draw back my hook socks. What's a hook sock?
is it like those socks that are really long?
Maybe.
Look like gym socks?
Maybe.
Did you Google this?
I think I've tried Googling it before, but I
Did you?
came up with no success.
Why don't you? They'd probably answer you. You could probably send them this podcast too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I think they only
Maybe it's not a
have.
thing at all.
Yeah, they're not really that big or popular, and that's not dissing them in any way. I wish they had more of a following, because they're good musicians. They know what they can make good recordings and stuff.
Yeah, it's like awesome and sad, like that. You know, they'd go all the way to Indiana to play in a cornfield. Like it's not sad, like, oh, this, you know, sad, but like I'm sure it was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was great. It
But
was
like,
so cool.
You know, they've got to want more.
Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe
I
they're
don't
like,
know.
maybe they have like jobs and they're just like cool and they're like happy that
Could be.
someone's like, yo, we should do that. Mm-hmm. We should like call up a band that is unknown and be like, yo, come play at Trevor's house.
Yeah.
Not mine. Yours.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
And just
I'll
just
volunteer.
host a show.
Yeah, we'll
I
call
think
swans.
that might come with like some like liabilities and things like that though. Like if a kid comes to the show and gets hurt or something. But
No kids.
no kids.
Let's check
Yeah.
IDs.
Because this was literally just like, and I think this garage in the middle of nowhere, they host shows like every once in a while. It's just some guy who owns like a couple lots of property, and he just invites these bands to come play. That's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah. Well, how many people were there?
It was probably, I want to say, with me and Leroy, and it wasn't that much. It was only probably about 20, 30 people max.
That's not bad.
It wasn't bad at all.
No.
And they had like all their vans and stuff and all their merch and stuff out in the grass, kind of near the garage, and yeah,
Huh.
it was
That's
very
cool.
intimate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope, man.
it was dope.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Yeah. I was trying to think what else I wanted to say about this. There's something, but or maybe I said it all. I don't know. I'm not gonna volunteer your house for a band to come though. You'd have to like
Yeah, no,
keep them, but yeah. Huh.
I think one of my favorite tracks on this album would have to be "Have It," or "Amends" is really good just because I really like the way it ends it. It's a good ending to the album. I know we complained a little bit about the glow. No, it wasn't the glow. It was
The last week's Zrines Unor Theta.
Unor Theta, that having kind of a weak end to it. Like this song, Amends, has a good end. So
Yeah.
I really appreciated that. Leech is a good song too.
It's a good bookend because like
Upper Butcher's good. Cactus, yeah, it's good.
yeah, I think Zrine's biggest failure was the fact that their intro song was so fucking
Yeah,
good that
yeah.
they literally, you can't beat that because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, they threw everything they had into that, maybe too hard. I don't know, but yeah, no, this is like a good little bookend, and
Yeah.
because I'm not particularly fond of Hook Socks either. I mean,
Okay.
it's an okay song. Another one where I feel like once I get past the beginning, then I'm more into it because I like the ending. I love how they change, like they do that time signature. But it's another one where it's like kind of got a quirky like start to me. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
Is that Hook Socks?
Hook Socks? Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Do you remember that ending? That like kind of odd time signature kind of drum part. I can't even think of it right now, but I know it if I heard it. But yeah, Habit's a good song too. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like two good representations of what you're getting into because like both singers kind of take
Yeah,
the lead
I
on either track. Mm-hmm. Because you're introduced to the other guy and you're like, oh, this is kind of a good little mixture.
And I like the way that they layer the singer's vocals too, like the quiet singer. Not I was say quiet singer, not like
he's-
like the secondary
He's
singer.
more soft spoken.
More soft spoken, but I like the way that they layer the vocals in a way like, it's kind of the same kind of tone, but maybe slightly off. But it sounds really interesting, layered texture.
Timbre.
Yeah,
Pretentious.
a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
I used to call it timbre.
This podcast may be a little pretentious, just in general.
What? Two white guys in a basement talking about
Yeah,
independent artists?
that's not pretentious at all.
Not at all. We definitely need more of it.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm glad that we listened to this. It was fun for me to be able to revisit this album this week. It was, it was kind of nostalgic for me, and the weather's gotten a little bit cooler, so it kind of took me back to those days, and it was nice because I can think now how much better things are now compared to then. Because I usually compare when people ask me how college was. I usually say it was I got through college through caffeine and self-loathing. That's how I got through it. And Queen Moo was there when I was doing it too.
yeah.
So it kind of took me back to that. But now I'm salaried, fully employed, and I'm married in a house. So things have gotten a lot better since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good shit, man. This was a good album pick too.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, nice little
Change up.
obscure band. Yeah, it's much better than the Grammy-nominated, Grammy-winning album you started with.
Yeah, I think this album. I think they get like 8,000. I think monthly listeners on Spotify. They deserve so much
Arcade
more.
Fire. Oh,
Shut up. Shut up. No, these guys. I know there's articles like out there that are more local, but and I really don't mean if it sounds like I'm talking shit about these guys, I'm not, because I do cherish them.
no, we love small artists, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to find these little gems, man.
Yeah, this is a gem. This is something that I don't even know how Leroy found them. Like, I don't know if within his circles
He's got his ways.
he might have his ways.
Yeah.
he's a sly little guy.
Yeah, he gets around, so he's probably he's pretty
Leroy, if you're listening,
word of mouth.
I miss you, Leroy. Hope
Yeah,
you're
I
doing
miss you
good.
too, Daddy. It's also interesting how we've done 3 indie albums, and there's no good way to actually categorize any of them, but they all sound different. Microphones, Arcade Fire, Queen Moo.
Yeah,
They'd all have this like alternative rock like label slapped on them, which is like, I don't know what we can do about it, because a lot of people are like, I don't like being defined. But then you go and listen to metal, and there's every single possible adjective you can give something.
there's so
And
many boxes.
You can
Yeah.
find exactly what you want to hear for a sound, and it's something I wish I could do more with indie, because
That is kind of true. And the only thing you can really do with indies, you can compare acts, you can compare artists. Like if you like Fleet Foxes, then you might like this band. If you like, Arcade Fire, you might like this group. Things like that.
that's the only thing we can do, because like you can add Tame Impala and then Swans, and it's like all alternative rock.
That's just the box they throw all of this stuff into.
Yeah, or like I guess you could say experimental, but no one that's not a
progressive.
sound either. That's
Yeah.
a way of, I don't know, structuring your music, which is why like you can have totally two different bands that are experimental, and like it's just like I don't know, it's like indie. It's like they're independent, but yeah, it's Arcade Fire literally won a Grammy. Are they
Right.
really independent anymore? So that's turned into a sound in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we can really do about that, because some people don't like the different metal genres because it pigeonholes them. But I don't know. I think as a listener in the modern search engine based day, like if I want to go find a post atmospheric doom metal band, I know exactly what I'm getting.
Right.
So yeah, that's always that. I don't know. I just take that as my soapbox moment to gripe about indie music. Yeah.
I don't know if I have much more of these type of albums to pull out of my hat, honestly, moving forward. I mean, I've been kind of the one to pull out these indie groups, and you've been more to pull out these metal acts. So I don't know how much more I have.
So I'm torn for this week, because like I have
maybe we should switch it up a bit.
I have a lot of indie stuff I can
Kind of contribute.
but
Throw
I
into
also
the
have a
mix.
lot of metal still. But
Oh, I know
don't
you got
so
plenty
it's
of
like,
metal.
I don't know. I have a post rock band and a post metal band.
You're like, don't know what to go with yet.
But I feel like we should do post rock. I think I've got a pretty good album that I would like to do for next week.
Sounds like you've already kind of made up your mind too.
I think so. I think I knew I was going to do it all along. Have you heard of the band Bark Psychosis?
Bark Psychosis.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of that.
So they have a 1994 album called Hex. And it is a pretty predictive album of like where post rock bands like Explosions in the Sky, Mono, Godspeed You Black Emperor, kind of bands that took the reins later on. Even Swans, I guess, kind of have post rock influence, but probably not until this album was close to coming out.
Yeah.
But the album's called Hex, name's Bark Psychosis. It's a really lush album, and I think you'll really like it.
So that's going to be this week's.
I think
Okay.
I think that's the move.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
They're
Bark Psychosis.
yeah, I think they're known in your patrician circles and
If I see the album cover, I might like. Yeah.
yeah. I think when you're talking about post rock, the band Talk Talk comes to mind a lot. There's the album Laughing Stock.
Yeah.
That came out in I think '91, and then Bark Psychosis came out in '94.
Oh wow.
And I'm pretty sure the drummer of Talk Talk joined Bark Psychosis at some point. I'm not sure if he's playing on Hex, but the drumming sounds similar. I think he played later because they dropped some random album in like 2004, but they're kind of not doing too much. I don't think they're even together right now. So, but I feel like that album is worth talking about, especially when it comes to like how some bands were operating outside of the the mainstream sounds and whatnot, especially for an album like this to come out in 1994
Right.
during all the grunge time. So I think that's a good transitionary album to get me off of talking about metal.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. I think that'll be good for us.
Yeah, you can pick some fucking heavy shit next week or
Yeah,
something. Or...
maybe it'll be my turn.
My turn, yeah.
My
I mean,
turn.
you always could have picked metal. I mean,
I know I could have.
we've definitely set some footing for the variety that we can.
Oh yeah, we got a pretty broad kind of spectrum of stuff that
Yeah,
we
we
got.
got to do hip hop too at some point. Man.
Yeah, hip hop,
Yeah.
raps, things like that. That's stuff like definitely something
Yeah,
that
maybe
some
pop.
some popular stuff.
Some
Definitely
bubblegum
listen to some
pop,
stuff.
little
Yeah.
Carly Rae,
Some
little...
dance stuff, yeah. So just because this is stuff, being not so prepared for this, I of course have listened to the album quite a bit, and this is kind of
Queen Moo.
Yeah, of Queen Moo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Queen Moo. The members, because I feel bad going through this whole time not mentioning members of this group. It's Jason Rule, Kevin O'Donnell, Nick Charlton, and Oscar Godoy. Godoy, I think is how you say it.
Godoy,
Oscar
Godoy.
Godoy.
Good boy, mate.
So Godoy,
Jesus,
mate.
that's so dumb.
Crikey. Queen Moo is
Queen.
Queen Moo is an American rock and roll band. The group, this is off TopShelfRecords.com. So their second full-length Meanwhile out 8/25 on Top Shelf Records is a portrait of the group and the individuals. That's like the album cover is like an actual portrait of them. When Queen Moo spoke with Noisy in 2015, Jason Rule and Kevin O'Donnell had just quit emo to get drunk. Yeah, so you can kind of hear that in this too, yeah. In 2017, however, Rule has quit drinking, making a full reflection not just on sobriety and recovery, but on growing up and putting the worst parts of oneself to bed. So it sounds like he had some introspection and is hopefully, it sounds like he's in recovery. So I don't know if it's stating here if he's like an addict. They
This
mentioned
is what this self-titled album was.
I think it might be
reflecting?
Meanwhile, but this one could be a reflection on that too, because he does talk about addicts and addictions. It has a lot of heavy subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, he never did it in like
with alcohol.
This is awesome type way.
No, it definitely has a somber kind of like, doesn't seem like much good ever came out of this album as far as, when they're talking about getting drunk and drinking and things like that. So much more fun when we drink. But like, it definitely has that, like, there's consequences to this level of drinking and things like that, right?
Yeah.
I like the one lyric, and like I think it's I get all dressed up for a glass of gin, get all worked up to commit some sin, and then it goes into something else. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think this album really spoke to me at the time when I was at that time in my life.
Oh, you reminded me. I was trying.
Yeah,
I wish, like, because I don't think if you'd showed this to me then, at that time when you heard it, I'm not sure if it was like, I think this would have resonated with me more like freshman year of college.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'd heard it then, it probably would have been my the little song of that time, or the little album of that time. But yeah, because those were definitely the drunk sad days for me. Yeah, cool. I didn't. Yeah, that's interesting development.
Yeah. No, I good for these guys. I hope they continue to create music and perform music.
Yeah, getting it on Noisy's pretty good.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, the Noisy publication, that's a pretty popular one, so that's cool that they
Oh,
got
that's
on
cool.
there.
Yeah, that they got on that. Yeah.
I think that's Revice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
All love to Queen Moo, and
Queen Moo.
hopefully they keep doing.
What time are we at? Did we talk longer about the album than the album length?
Probably.
That's
We're at
awesome.
54 minutes.
Holy fuck. Okay, that's good.
Well, we also had to talk about the food that's toast.
Lord Foog the Tooth and Choogs.
And Choogs.
Yeah.
Lord
Are you
Food
a
the
Choog,
Toast.
Trevor?
I'm probably a Choog. I'm probably a Choog.
Yeah, I should look up men Choogs. Can you be a Choog? Because the 90s are so in right now.
Yeah.
And like they sit, they don't want to wear skinny jeans anymore, the women, but
I mean, mine are slim straight, so they're like skinny, but I
Yeah,
don't like the way I like a skinny straight more than a boot cut or a classic cut.
yeah, for like men's fashion, it seemed like the skinnier the better, and it seems like that's still the case. So I don't
If
know
I keep
if the
getting
same-
fatter, I can't keep wearing skinnies because then I'll
Right.
just look like a drum leg, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the same rules apply, unfortunately. But like I don't know, the Gen Z's want like they're fascinated with the 90s so much, but
The parting the hair down the middle is coming back.
yeah, it's like
because our generation, millennials, always like the side part, right?
yeah, and they hate the side part.
They
They're
hate
like,
the
"Don't
side
do
part.
the side
They're
part."
coming
Yeah.
after our fucking side
Yeah,
part.
get rid of the Uggs, get rid of the Gucci belt, no
Yeah.
fucking side part. But do the boys look at the 90s the same way? Because if they were, we would see a lot more army cargo shorts to
Yeah.
go below the knees, more backwards baseball
Jorts.
caps,
Yeah.
goatees, soul patches. Fred Durst.
Yeah,
Is this what
really
we
long
really want?
baseball,
Do you-
basketball jerseys. Yeah,
Yeah, do you want this? Because I don't.
yeah.
Do we want everyone dressing like Korn or in Jinko jeans? And
I'd be down with that.
dude, you know what's gonna be crazy? Like 20 years, people are gonna be wearing Osiris shoes again.
Oh no!
Oh,
That's
no.
great. So they're gonna bring back thousands. Oh
Yeah, they're gonna
wow.
bring back thousands, or and then when 2010s are back in, but
That's
I don't
crazy
know,
to think about.
I don't know what's gonna happen after that, since we're just stealing from previous generations.
Wow, that was weird.
That's crazy, yeah. Fucking Choogs, man.
Fucking Choogs.
I feel like that's for older. Like I think that's for
That
millennials
sounds-
in their 30s that are like.
Yeah, we're almost there, dude. You're
Yeah.
27. I'm 26. We're almost there.
But we're still kind of close to Gen Z, though. Or, like my brother, he's, well in his 30s. So, I mean, I think the Choog term gets more applied to that. They hate wooden signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the criticism of the word is just like, it's like, can women like things ever? Like, why are we always demonizing this with, this types of word? Yeah. But I just think of The Simpsons with Grandpa saying, I used to be with it, and then they changed what it was. And now, what was it? Not cool anymore. And what is it? It's weird and scary. And it'll happen to you. I paraphrased.
Well, next album we're going to listen.
You don't want to talk about this anymore?
Just go into the existential dread. If we just want to delve further and further into how we're getting old and not understanding what the youths are doing these days and what they're
I'm on
parted.
TikTok, dude. I know. I'm on Twitch.
I'm not on TikTok. I don't do the TikToks.
Like, no cap, dead ass. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, this shit's trail, dude.
I think I read a tweet or I saw a picture of something like I think Jordan sent it to me. It was like a youth pastor talking in like Gen Z speech. And I sent it back something like, yeah, Judas hella sus on God.
Mm-hmm. So you're doing it right.
Yeah.
That's fine, man.
Yeah.
I hope one day we can like just acknowledge that we're all in this cycle, that
Yeah.
when we're making fun of the old people.
Yeah.
But man, millennials, we took some bullets for you Gen Zers, man.
We
We
did.
paved some paths.
Yeah, we did.
Don't forget that. Just, just tell me what I need to do to look cool again, and I'll just do it politely. You don't need to like make fun of me.
Right.
But I don't know. I didn't really like fashion then either, when I was growing up. So fuck them, I didn't like when Beats by Dre were an accessory
Yeah.
and snapbacks with the stickers
I
were
didn't like
like a
that,
thing.
no.
Like I didn't
No.
do any of that shit.
No, me either.
Yeah, so you can make fun of those kids all you want. They're
Yeah.
still doing that. Yeah, you should
Leave
bully
my
them.
skinny jeans and studded belts and band t-shirts alone.
Yeah, but like we did that when it was peak though. So
Yeah.
like it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Now it's not anymore the way
Right.
it should be.
Right.
What changed for me was going to Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Because I was doing this whole counterculture thing. Then I went there, saw every one of the motherfuckers look the same.
Yep.
So I was like, I gotta not conform to this too. My parents just hated that.
Yeah.
So they're like, you don't even want to conform to the nonconformists. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to dress like a prep now, bitch. Unless I'm with preps, and then I have to like throw on like a Under Oath t-shirt or some shit.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know.
You just always had to make a point to just be against the grain.
Yeah, it's kind of exhausting. So I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And it's just like wearing an Amy Winehouse t-shirt. So I don't know what the fuck means.
You just look good, Daddy.
Thanks, dude. It took me a long time to get here, but
Yeah.
hopefully I can look back on photos from then and be like, wow, how so timeless.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes my sideburns were a little too bushy back then, a little too long.
I need to get a haircut. I'm looking like a Q-tip.
You look fun.
Oh, okay. So you're like, you know what, man? You're right. You do.
Mid-sentence, I stop. No, dude, you have a haircut that is timeless.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No, I'm serious. Like, people are gonna look back on their fades
Yeah.
and like that, what's it? Thomas Shelby Peaky Blinders look. Don't try to fix your hair. It's fine.
Oh. This isn't fixing it. I don't imagine.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Short sideburns. Sides. It's gonna go away. So
Yeah.
and it'll happen to all of us.
Anyways, all hail, Sir Foog the Toost.
Lord Foog the Toost.
All hail, Lord Foog the Toost.
Yep. Don't be a choog.
Like us. Couple choogs.
Us.
Oh, me? You're saying I'm the
No,
choog?
your fucking threads are fine. I don't know what
threads.
pants we should wear. I didn't look that up.
I am the walrus.
Be nice to choogs, though.
Choog.
Yeah, go hug a choog day.
Go hug a choog.
Yeah, give them a wooden sign.
If you know a choog, go hug a choog.
Go Chevron logos.
Yep.
Yeah. Hug your Queen Moo.
Yeah.
But Chevron's shitty.
All right.
No one ever liked
And
that.
then all hail King Moo. Queen Moo.
Queen Moo the Tooth.
All hail Queen Moo. Okay.
Fuck
And
this
then
off the
we'll
rails,
be back with Bark Psychosis.
Yes.
Is
The
that
album Hex.
Hex. H-E-X.
Hex, yes.
Okay.
Like
all
sex
right.
with an H.
This has been Ear Earners. Thanks for listening to this bullshit and talking about
This bullshit.
this bullshit. Talking about Queen Moo.
Queen Moo. Yeah.
All right. Kisses, guys.
Queen Choog. Kisses.
Kisses.
I can't hear it.
No, I can kind of hear it.
Oh, you turned your headphones down too?
A little bit. I can hear just ever so slightly. Yeah, it's late. Jordan texted me food. So she's hungry too. So
Oh shit! I forgot we're eating.
yeah, I got to fire up the grill and all that too. So
I had like a ball of bread earlier.